Loco Moco is a Hawaiian dish with a patty that's been smothered in gravy, complete with a side of white rice and fried egg. I used a special ingredient in the gravy since, hey, the gravy is what carries a Loco Moco, right? If you've ever had Jollibee and had their burger steak, it's kind of similar to a Loco Moco. Now, I don't want to say they're the same exact thing because I don't want to pretend that I know what the differences are. I decided to make a Loco Moco instead of burger steak because, well, in the times that we visited Doug's family in Oahu, I've had several plates of Loco Moco, but I've never had Jollibee's burger steak. I know, don't kill me, but I mean, how can you not order the Chicken Joy when you're there? There's a ton of recipes online that use Worcestershire sauce inside the gravy, but I actually wanted to use an ingredient that a Filipino pantry is more likely to have. To find out what that ingredient is, you're gonna have to watch this recipe. So make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already, check the description for some goodies, and let's cook! I used 1 pound of this ground beef, but you can also use ground pork or half ground pork, half ground beef. We're gonna shape this hunk of meat into patties. Depending on how large you want them, divide accordingly. I divided mine into 8 for smaller portions. We're gonna keep the patties simple since, I mean, you can get real fancy if you want to, but to me, meat is good on its own, seasoned with just salt and pepper. Squish it, roll it, do whatever with it, but just make sure the middle is thinner than the outside since these will puff up in the middle once they cook. Also, I like my patties thinner rather than thicker. And that's it. Now we're gonna season these guys once they're in the pan. You don't wanna salt these guys too early or else the juices will come gushing out. Grab a pan that you can use to cook both the patties and the gravy. Adjust your flame to medium heat and then add between 1/2 to 1 tablespoon of butter or oil to this pan. Place your patties on the pan, making sure that they aren't being crowded so that they can sear on the bottom. Now it's time to season these. Sprinkle some salt and pepper over these patties to taste. I should have only cooked mine for like 2 minutes on each side, but depending on how thick your patties are and how well done you want them, the time will vary. When you're satisfied, flip it over and season the other side with salt and pepper as well. When it's cooked to your liking, remove them from the pan and place them in a separate plate. Repeat this process for the rest of your patties. Once they're all done cooking, lower your flame and look at your pan. We're gonna saute onions, so if you think you need more oil or butter, add some. I added another tablespoon of butter in here, and then I dropped in half of an onion that's been chopped. While you're sauteing, scrape the bottom of the pan to pick up the bits of the patties that we cooked earlier. This is the reason why we're using the same pan. These bits will add flavor to the gravy. Saute the onions until they're slightly translucent, and then add in about 6 to 7 small chopped button mushrooms. Okay, I use the button mushrooms in the can because I really like their taste and texture for some weird reason. But if you have fresh mushrooms, you can use those too. Saute these two for a few minutes, and then we're gonna add one of these beef bouillon cubes, or any other type of bouillon cubes you have. I checked the package. This 1 bouillon cube equals 10 grams. Play with the cube until you realize that it splatters in the hot oil, and in your panic, dump in 2 cups of water. Okay, in all seriousness, to be safe, add the water first and then add the bouillon cube. If you have liquid broth or stock, you can use 2 cups of those instead of using the bouillon cube and the 2 cups of water. Guys, are you ready? The special ingredient is coming up. It's pork liver pate! Hey, yeah, don't leave yet. Let me explain. Okay, listen, if you say you don't like liver on its own, it's different when you put it in the gravy. It just thickens up the sauce and it adds a unique flavor to it. And before you retort again, if you've ever had caldereta or maybe homemade gravy for like Thanksgiving or something, you highly likely had liver in there. Just try it, it's good. I used this pork liver pate and dolloped 2 full tablespoons into the gravy. Liver spread, liver pate, liverwurst, they have their slight differences, but use any of them in this recipe and it'll still taste very good. Blend this well into the mixture and you can see it kind of thickened up a bit. But this mixture is still a bit liquidy, so we're gonna add 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Hey, make sure you mix your cornstarch with 1 tablespoon of cold or room temperature water first before you dump it into the mix. Otherwise, it will not mix. Now just keep whisking to make sure the mixture does not clump up, and then keep your heat to medium. In less than a few minutes, this mixture will thicken up like magic. Take a little taste of it and then add freshly ground black pepper and salt if you need more. The seasonings from the ground beef, the bouillon cube, and the liver pate that I used made this gravy salty enough, so I'm not adding any more salt. I'm adding a little bit more pepper though. Just let this boil for another 2 to 3 minutes just to make sure the cornstarch cooks, and then we're gonna remove it from the heat. Now it's just the easy stuff. The only thing left to do is fry up an egg and oh, I hope you cooked rice. Okay, for the egg, I like mine over easy and cooked on low heat so it doesn't become overcooked and rubbery. I also want a beautiful yolk to come out, and cooking it on low heat ensures that I still have plenty of yolk to poke. Season your egg with just a little bit of salt and then try your best not to break it for a beautiful plating arrangement. Okay, I'm gonna make this pretty for you guys with the rice shaped into a bowl and everything. Also, you'd be loco to eat Loco Moco without the rice. I mean, what else is gonna soak up that gravy goodness? Oh, and put the egg on top of the rice because you'll see. Now make sure you smother your patties in that gravy because it's the best part and we have plenty of it. You know what makes it the best? The liver spread, or the pate, or the liverwurst, whichever one you decided to use. Okay, move basil. Now this is why the egg is on top of the rice. So mesmerizing. Anyway, I hope that Loco Moco recipe was very easy for you guys to follow because my goal here is to make it as simple as possible to make at home so that you don't get intimidated. And also, yes, someday I will go to Jollibee and get their burger steak so that I can learn the differences between the two, share it with you guys, and hopefully get a recipe out of it too. Anyway, thank you so much for watching it this far in the video, and I hope you guys make this at home. Let me know in the comments if you do. Again, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button, check the description for some goodies, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Bye!
I'm Doug, and I approve this Loco Moco.